In this video, we're going to be finding out about a new cryptocurrency project that aims to revolutionize and enrich the care industry.
Using Wi-Fi without NordVPN could mean sharing your private stuff with more people than you think. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
Tokenmetrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams.
Hi, everybody. This is CryptoRich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me Simon. Simon is one of the team at ReMeLife, and we're going to be finding out all about ReMeLife. Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my official Telegram announcements channel, and also you want to subscribe to me on bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey and bit.ly/CryptoRich3Speak. I post more videos on Odyssey and on 3Speak than I do on YouTube, and that's because of YouTube censorship. So come over to Odyssey and 3Speak. Hey, Simon, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Thanks, CryptoRich. Thanks for having me.
All right, Simon, you are the CEO and founder of ReMeLife, and you and I have spoken a few times about this. You're incredibly passionate about ReMeLife. So, just in a nutshell, what is ReMeLife?
Yeah, I am passionate because it's based on experiences with my mother and my family. I started to build software to address her care needs, and it's just gone from small beginnings, small acorns, to where it is now. So what is it? Well, it's basically a suite of apps that make it possible for those involved in care to better deliver care. But the novel element to it is that during lockdown, when the business got a bit shaky, to be honest, inevitably, I, courtesy of my interest in crypto and Bitcoin, decided to put a crypto layer on top of our apps. So in a nutshell, ReMeLife is a platform that provides free apps that enable, when you use those apps, for anyone to earn passively free crypto into their wallet, the wallet that we provide them.
Okay, so who uses the apps? Are we talking about elderly people here? Are we talking about people with disabilities? Are we talking about those that work with them, their family members?
It's a broad audience, and I think we all know that. Well, I'll give you the figures. The figure is 68% of the world is caring for someone at any one time, and that ranges from, of course, the elderly, a large growing sector, but the elderly are cared for by their family right down to the grandkids. I've met lots of 12-year-old kids who take a very active role in caring for their grandparents, but it's also learning disabilities, autism, cognitive difficulties. So it's a broad spectrum of persons that can use our apps. And it kind of started off because I think carers get a raw deal, basically. They don't get paid very much. They do sterling work. They don't get technology that will assist them better know those they care for. So as well as those cared for and families caring for them, it's also for carers so that they can benefit and gain a passive reward, a passive income for the work they do daily.
Okay, so what are these apps and how can you get passive income from them?
Well, we started off building years ago an app that captures knowledge of the person through digital activities. And what that means is you use the app to engage with your loved one remotely, and you may be sending them social media content, you may be playing games with them, you may just be talking and chatting with a video, but the system captures knowledge about you. So it builds a profile, what we call a life story profile. And the data that's captured in background, we call electronic life records, ELR. Likes, dislikes, moods, habits, preferences, well-being, life story, memories. I mean, what you did when you were 15, things come up when you're having a conversation with someone or involved in an activity. You learn things, and the system captures that data and then makes that data available to carers to use subsequently so they know more about the person. And of course, it's all about commonality of interest, finding things that both parties, the person cared for and the carer, enjoy talking about, because I think we all know that, if you find commonality of interest, we all have a better time. We all well-being is improved. So that's one of our apps. But the other apps include Alexa, which will talk to you and say, "You have not taken your medication, CryptoRich." And as long as you, and I hope you have, If you say to Alexa, you have taken your medication, you're going to get tokens. If
Right.
your grandson engages with you using our video chat tool, which is called Rooms, you're going to get tokens. So there's about 10 use cases where you'll get tokens. We're at the point now where we've only got 2 of those use cases that provide you with tokens, but that's why we're fundraising now to get to the next phase. We're at phase 1 now, where we've built a good chunk of the infrastructure, the architecture, and the software to enable our members to use the apps, have fun, support care, but also be rewarded for building their community.
Okay. Well, straight away, I can see a couple of problems, right? So you and I, elderly as we may
You
be,
would see problems, wouldn't you?
I do, right? Elderly as we may be, right? We have an understanding of cryptocurrencies. We can use applications. You and I are both on Zoom right now. But for someone who has a learning disability or is, much, much older than you and I, how are they going to use this technology?
It's such a misconception. It really is. My 82-year-old mother-in-law. Well, I'll give you some use cases. That's the best way to do it. My son didn't particularly want to engage with my mother-in-law because she's quite a scary lady at times. But I used to reward him with pocket money to get him to engage with her, and he was up for that. That's for sure. But then when I started thinking that maybe crypto could be a solution, in other words, rewards are what it's all about in life. I mean, let's be honest. We do things if we're rewarded. And Facebook makes a fortune when all we do in terms of rewards is we just get thumbs up, but we still do it, or
Right.
some people do. So I realized that rewards could incentivize care, and they certainly were incentivizing my son to get involved with my mother-in-law. I started giving him tokens, bits of paper, but he believed in those bits of paper because he's a gamer.
Right.
Gamers believe in tokens. It wasn't an alien concept to him, and he believed that his dad might pull this off one day. So he was my test case. So he started engaging with my mother-in-law remotely using our app and finding commonality of interest. And when they both found out they love cats and games, and in their cases they both love poetry, he soon began to enjoy engaging with her. But she started using tech because people will use tech because it's not that complicated if there's a reward. And the
Right.
reward is the engagement with my son, but also now tokens so that she can go out and buy products in our marketplace.
Okay. So if there's sufficient reward, like a sufficient return, which can be the emotional return of being connected to her grandson,
Absolutely.
or the monetary return, fine. But I can get it, and I assume the apps are easy to use as well anyway, because certain applications really are easy to use, like WhatsApp. I think is very easy to use. Telegram is very easy to use. SMS messaging is easy to use. But how do you then explain cryptocurrencies? And I have a personal story. My father in his mid-80s, I'm trying to sit down and explain Bitcoin to him. He just doesn't get it. He gets gold, but I wasn't able to get him to understand internet banking, never mind Bitcoin. So isn't that another hurdle?
I don't think you've got to explain it to them. I mean, the word blockchain will disappear out of our vocabulary. I mean, do you know what ERP is?
Nope.
You probably do. Well, ERP drives your life. It's enterprise resource planning. It's systems that underlie most of the corporate world, but we don't know what it is. We just, live on top of it. So blockchain is just software that drives supply chain, drives banking, no one needs to know about blockchain. And in crypto is the same. I mean, I don't think anybody understands our financial system. Okay, the veil's beginning to be drawn back now, and people are beginning to learn about the bizarre nature of fractionalized banking and quantitative easing and so forth. People are beginning to understand how the financial system works. But the bottom line is we just get our dollars or our pounds and go out and buy stuff. And we get our Tesco tokens or our air miles and we go out and use them. It's no different, except now with crypto, we get the ability to get that crypto. In our app's case, we're a care to work model. So you do care, you get paid. And instead of getting paid in dollars, you're getting paid in tokens. And then what do you do with those tokens? Just like dollars, you're going to spend them in the marketplace. So,
Okay.
I mean, you haven't got to explain it. There's no need. They've just got to go, wow, I'm getting something for my data. I'm getting something for engaging with my scary mother-in-law. I'm getting something that I can then spend. It's good if they want to learn, because I'm a great believer in knowledge being a powerful driver for societal change. That's another discussion. But the bottom line is, the underlying mission is we should be rewarded for caring. We should be rewarded for our data. We should get a slice of the retail action, if you want to put it that way, that's happening when we go and buy a product online. So that's all we're doing. We are just giving them a currency that could be a dollar, but actually is a token that they can then go and spend somewhere else.
All right. Now, who does the paying? Where does this come? Where does this come from?
Who does the paying?
Yeah. So you say people get paid through the app. Where is this pot of tokens?
This pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like that. So where does the dollar come from?
Well, the
I'll tell you
dollar.
where.
Yeah.
It just, the government, the central banks decide, you know what? Let's print some money. And I think only 10% of it's actually printed into notes, but most of it just is digital money. And they go, oh, let's make some. And they make it and they give it to the bankers. And what do the bankers do with it? Well, they then multiply it by anything from 10 to 100. And then they put it out there. A lot of it goes to themselves to put into high risk investments so they can make profit and do what they do. And some of it trickles down to businesses and to us. Money's just made and it has no underlying security or asset value. Its only value is based on its perception, its price on a market.
Sure.
So crypto does the same. Crypto says we'll mint tokens. It doesn't matter what type of project you are. That's what everyone is doing. They're minting a number of tokens. And those tokens, just like the dollar, have zero value unless the market says, actually, it's worth something.
Right.
The question is, what is the token worth? And that's where creativity and the phrase that if someone's into crypto will know, that's where tokenomics comes into it. And so we need to find ways for that token to have value. And we've done it in quite a set of creative ways. We've done some unique things in that we have a marketplace, we do have a gas element, and there are products that you can buy. So, and of course, it goes on to such as Uniswap or Binance and so forth. So the market defines the value. The products that we sell define the value. But the bottom line, to answer your question, is we're minting 600 million. That's the maximum tokens. And whatever the market says they're worth, they'll be worth. And then we give them to the carers for the work they do.
Okay. So the cap is going to be 600 million, which is the difference between the Remi token and fractional reserve banking, because there's no cap on the dollar or the pound or the euro, right?
Absolutely.
So there's a cap.
Yeah.
And then they're given out. So take us through the tokenomics. How does the token circulate?
Well, tokenomics and circulation, I guess they go hand in hand, but the cap is the key. And the aim is for it to be a deflationary model, which means it reduces the sell pressure. Because the problem with a lot of crypto projects is everyone wants to sell, make money, of course. And if they're selling, well, then the price will go down. And that's one of the problems. And we're seeing that with NFTs now. That, people want to realize the value in the NFTs and prices are going down. Same with a lot of crypto projects. So tokenomics is, to some extent, I consider it to be the modern alchemy, if you like, because it's creating value out of effectively thin air. But if it is out of thin air, then you've got 2017 white paper wannabe stuff going on. But if you're creating a proper model, then it's got to be based on real things, and which is what we do. So we've got a suite of real things that give it value. One is the marketplace, as I've said. But to take you through the journey, if you like, that represents the tokenomics, someone does care work. My son engaging with my grandmother, that's definitely care work. His grandmother, I should say, that's definitely care work. Or helping your next door neighbor through a video chat or whatever it is, you get paid tokens. We're a 2-token system, but I can explain that later on. You get those tokens, and after a while, you'll have enough of them to use them. You've got to use them for something. Now, those tokens that you earn, you can't just go onto Binance and sell them. You've got to use them in our marketplace to buy a product. But you're going to buy something you need. You could buy Tesco products because we've spoken to Tesco. They're not involved yet. But you're going to buy almost anything, because let's face it, if you're being cared for, you need to buy products. Everything is relevant to someone being cared for. So the marketplace is quite a broad marketplace. So you take those tokens and you use them to redeem the discount and some of the value in the product. So you've now got a product being delivered to you, and you've given up your tokens. So this is where I think probably part of the clever bit comes in, if you like, because those tokens then go into our DAO, our decentralized autonomous exchange, which is a complex word for many, but it's really just a charity that sits on the blockchain. Those tokens go into the DAO and they're burned, just like Ethereum is now doing with its ETH, courtesy of the merge. So they're burned. So they don't go on to Binance or get sold and causing a downward pressure on the price. They get burned. So you can think of the tokens as going round in a circle. They're being acquired, they're being created, they're being acquired through care work, they're being used to buy products, and then they're being destroyed.
Right.
That's, I guess, the simple way of looking at it. There's other elements in there which we can talk about, but that's the simple circle. The
Okay.
circle of life.
That will have an upward pressure on the price.
Yes.
And they are ERC20 tokens
Well,
or BEP20?
when I did the initial maths on this, I mean, I'd been involved in crypto for a few years, but only during lockdown did I put two and two together, i.e. think about putting crypto into our existing care business. And the first thing I did was calculate how many tokens would be floating around if you rewarded people for the care that they were performing using our apps. And you get to billions of tokens pretty quick. And you can't do that if there's going to be gas costs. In fact, we actually started building part of our model on an Ethereum blockchain straight away. We then realized gas costs are going to bankrupt us, and well, it's just not going to work, basically. So we then built a two-token system whereby you earn what we call caps, care action points, and you accrue them in the wallet that you get. So if you become a member today, you'll get a wallet, and you'll immediately get 200 caps for having joined up. When you sign up your mother and your brother into the care circle, because that's what care is all about, you'll get more caps. And when they sign up their friends and next door neighbors, you and they get caps. And when it's 3 levels deep, basically. So it's a rewards-based referral program. So immediately you're earning caps.
Right. Okay. So you got caps, and that's a referral system like MLM structure.
Well, it's not really MLM. Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, because MLM is based on obviously a multi-level referral system, but MLM only exists because you're selling products. Anyone who joins MLM buys a product, then has to sell it to their downline, I think it's called. And there's a whole, and I'm not anti-MLM because I think it's good that people are given the freedom to generate their own businesses and so forth. But there are many problems with MLM. You know, one being the forced product sales, having to get your friends to buy your products, and this whole business of downlines disappear. I mean, it's a complex discussion, MLM. We're not that at all.
Right.
But what we believe is if you buy something on Amazon and you tell your friend to also buy that product, you should get something for it. That's the proposition that we have. We're a referral mechanism. So if you invite your friend to use our products, we should give you something for it. And so on and so forth. So we're a referral mechanism. But if you do a lot of referrals, then you're going to get a lot of tokens. So, you know, I can tell you some lovely stories about some of our focus groups, if you want, about the kids we've worked with recently with autism, some of whom building huge networks. It's quite incredible. But back to your point first of all, before we move on to that, which I've forgotten. What was it? What was your point? Yeah.
Well, I was asking about the tokenomics, how that works.
Yes, I was working my way through the tokenomics. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we kind of closed the circle. The token works its way around and then gets burnt. So there is no major sell pressure. But the other thing is that not only can you use those tokens to buy products, you can also put them in what we haven't built yet, but we've certainly designed and will build and have got partners ready to build. And that is what we call CareFi stack. And I think your listeners are going to know all about DeFi. We're a great believer in DeFi. We're not a believer in some of the projects that have been built on a very open-ended basis that have somewhat of a reminiscence of Ponzi's about them. But it doesn't change the fact that a DeFi model is about decentralization and reducing costs. I mean, I have a pension I've had for 18 years, I think it is now. And that pension has gone up by £500. That's not right. That's not right. Whereas if you look at the fees that have been taken out by those centralized entities, well, it's a lot of money. So the proposition of decentralized finance is very sound. But how you build it is another matter. So we're building a model whereby we want to enable our members to earn tokens passively and then effectively stake them in a DeFi model to gain those things that most people don't have, which is a life assurance policy, a pension, cheap gym, all those sorts of things that are beneficial to their well-being because it's care, beneficial to their future, with a yield and so forth. And again, that reduces the sell pressure because they're hodling effectively. Yep. But they're hodling for long term, not for maybe medium or long term. So there's a second element that strengthens the value and validity, if you like, of the ReMi token.
Okay,
I'm not going to let you get away with this, stopping me here, because I do want to tell the story where it came from, if I may, because
sure.
it was a road to Damascus moment that I just get excited about every time I think about it. And it happened, I guess, about 3 months into lockdown, when I started studying during lockdown. I started looking at, what the hell is the financial system? Because I was naive until then. I just had implicit faith in the dollar and, the creation of money and all the rest. But having lost money 2 or 3 times in my life to banks, I thought this is a good time to study it. And I also studied health, because that's what I'm in. And I came across the concept of the Friendly Society, which I'd never really heard of before.
Mhm.
And it's fascinating. In the 1900s, the working class had no healthcare, no insurance, pretty dour lives as the Industrial Revolution took grip. But along came this concept of the Friendly Society, which literally was the coal miners, for example. 300 coal miners would get together. They'd all put in 2 or 3 days' salary, and some of their mates would manage the pot and go out and cut deals with doctors and insurance companies to bring into that community what they needed: good healthcare and insurance, and also cheap beer, which probably helped. So those Friendly Societies were well run. There was no fraud, because it was run by their mates, effectively. And here's the key phrase: the interests were aligned. So within about 3 years, I think it was, 35% of the working class in the Western world was having many of its social requirements managed through these Friendly Societies. Absolutely brilliant. Very obvious, very brilliant, very effective. Do you know what happened to them? They were shut down surreptitiously by governments around the world. Why? They didn't like the fact that the working classes weren't able to be managed by the middle classes. So the way they did it was they made GPs register with the local authorities. They made them, they just basically put roadblocks in the way, and the whole thing collapsed. And I think it's true to say that was one of the reasons that caused the sort of strengthening, if not the birth, in many areas of the unions.
Oh,
Because
okay.
so I looked at this and went, well, if I'm going to build a community, which is what we're doing, of millions of people around the world within ReMeLife, why not rekindle the Friendly Society? And then, of course, eventually I found out about the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which is, I realized that these Friendly Societies were really the world's first DAOs, basically, just not on the blockchain, but in the pub. So, because they were literally, and this is where a lot of the working men's clubs come from. The treasurer would be at the back of the working men's club counting the money or taking the money off the coal miners as they came out of the pit. So it's
Okay.
fascinating.
Okay. Now, the other thing you were saying, and I'm going to come back to the tokenomics, was whether it was an ERC20 token or not. I mean, what chain
Yeah.
is on currently?
Sorry, that's where we got derailed. Absolutely, yes. So we made it a 2-token system so that you earn caps. If you want to transact in our marketplace, you'll need to convert the caps, the care action points, into ReMis, which are ERC20 tokens. And you'll do that on our blockchain. There'll be a very small gas cost, which is just helping us with the regulatory process. In other words, proving that we're a utility. And then you'll buy products in the marketplace. If you want to take your ReMis out of the ecosystem, well, you'll only be allowed to take out a certain amount. We haven't defined, to be honest, exactly how much yet. You'll be able to do so, but as ERC20 ReMis. And then, of course, you can trade them on Uniswap or Binance when we get there. But to answer your question, which blockchain? We are aiming to build our own blockchain. It'll basically be a POA, proof of authority blockchain, which is a variety of proof of stake, which I'll explain in a minute. But that POA blockchain basically is an EVM. It's a clone of the Ethereum virtual machine, clique protocol. And what we're going to do is enable anybody who wants to take a node and become a validator, basically. And the argument is that this will cause lack of decentralization, and of course there's truth in that. But the aim is to have charities take those nodes.
Right.
And we have a model that will enable charities to benefit substantially, which is probably another question that I'm hoping you're going to ask, and I'll explain how that charity launchpad works. But the bottom line is that being on a DAO, all parties, whether it's members with their ReMis that they've earned passively, or charities who will be staking to validate a node, all parties will be voting on the distribution of the value within the DAO, basically. So it's a POA blockchain. But we call it the Remi chain, which we'll build ourselves. Obviously, we'll cross-chain to other chains and so forth. It's not going to be isolated.
Okay. Now, at time of recording, is the Remi token available on any exchanges or
At the
Uniswap?
moment, yes, there is. But you can, if you become a member, which we hope everyone does, it takes about 30 seconds to sign up. Then when you sign up, you'll get your wallet and you'll find you've got 200 caps straight away. When you sign up with your friends and family, as I say, you'll acquire caps. You can't convert those caps to Remis at the moment. We need to build our Remi chain blockchain first, which is fully ready to be built. It's designed and approved and so forth. But you can purchase Remi tokens, the ERC20 tokens. Now, we are in this for the long haul. We're not a business that is looking to make some money or run or even be short term. I'm looking to build something that will be a benefit to the grandkids, so to speak. So we're very regulatorily conscious. And what we don't want is for that Remi token to be defined as a security. Now, a lot of crypto businesses just go out and bang a token onto an exchange and don't really worry about that too much. But we're going to scale. We've got partners of size, the world's second largest hospital group, Equidium, the Consensus Health. We've got some major partners, insurance companies who want to see us go the whole way. So we're very conscious of being regulatory compliant. So what I'm saying is that you can buy a token today. You can go onto our website, go through and purchase a Remi token, and you'll get it at 50% discount to the launch price on Binance, just like any other seed listing, whether it's shares, equity, or tokens. But the rider is what you'll get is you won't get the token that you can put in your wallet. You'll get a legal contract, which is to some extent stronger. It's a legal document binding the business, which is a charity. As I've said, it's a UK registered CIC charity. You'll get a binding contract that says when we launch the network on Binance, then we are bound legally by UK law, not the Caymans or some strange location, but UK law, to provide and deliver tokens to the person. So you're getting what's known as a SAFT. And a SAFT is a standard, if there is anything standard in the world of crypto, but it is the standard legal document that is used to underwrite such transactions. All of this is defined up on our website within the FAQs.
Right.
So yes, you can.
I'll have all the links in the description below so people can go check it out, right? The thing that I want to know, so let's say I've earned some CAPS tokens for referring somebody. I've also earned some ReMeLife because I had a conversation over one of the apps with my grandmother or something.
Yeah.
And then what can I do with those tokens myself, apart from, of course, sell them in the marketplace? But
you can sell them or you can redeem them in the marketplace. And that's pretty broad. I mean, what do you do with dollars? You just redeem them in the shop.
I got it. But what's the other use case for the tokens?
Well, as I said, you can use them in what we call ReMiFi, which is a DeFi stack that provides products that are care products and financial instruments such as insurance and so forth. You can donate them to charities. You can stockpile them for your family. In other words, you can save them. You can stake them in a typical DeFi staking manner and get a yield on them. We pretty much will have that full suite of capability that a lot of other crypto projects offer, but in a long-term managed basis. I think that's probably the way to answer it.
Yes. Okay, so people can earn them. They're being burnt slowly, steadily anyway.
Yeah,
like you said, people can use them for purchasing goods and services that are relevant to that particular care sector. Because I know you've got different projects, legacy projects that are signed up for ReMeLife. Can you speak about that?
Well, the key to what we're doing is, as I mentioned before, the partnerships. We live in a fascinating world where many are disparaging about crypto, but if you look deeply, you'll find all the big boys are very much involved in it. Whether it's Barclays Bank or BlackRock or whoever, everyone is involved in crypto, and it's no different in the world that we're involved in. Charities, for example, are a very good example. We have quite a few charities. I won't say who they are at the moment because we're under NDA, but they'll be up on our website soon, who are absolutely fascinated by the Charity Launchpad. Now, what is a Charity Launchpad? Well, how does a charity operate? They basically survive on the basis of donations, and some of the products they get commissions from that they sell, and from training and supporting their members who have issues. In the case of Alzheimer's Society, who we know very well, for example, or Parkinson's UK, they have to spend a lot of money marketing to get the dollar in that they need to provide those charitable services. So I'll give you an example of one charity who I pitched to, how the conversation went. So I'm sitting talking to the marketing director and the CEO, because I know a lot of charities. I've been in this space for a long time. And he said, "Simon, what do you want? What do you got now?" And I said, "Well, what I want is for you to give us your 500,000 members to become ReMeLife members." "Why would I do that?" "Well, they're going to join us anyway. If you don't invite them to join ReMeLife, someone else will, and you'll get nothing from it. But if you invite them to join, and we'll talk about how you can take a node on our blockchain and how you can stake in a second. But if you do invite them to join, then when they buy products in our marketplace, we'll give you 2.5% commission of the sale, maybe 2% of the sale." But what do we do for that? Nothing. Every month, you're going to get 2% of whatever your 500,000 members buy in Remy Market. We're a social impact business. We're a non-profit organization. We're going to give you 2% of whatever your members buy. They couldn't believe it. So we haven't got to do anything. No, nothing. And you can go further if you like. If you take a node on our blockchain and become a validator, thereby effectively giving us a greater, I'll say, sense of decentralization, because I think we know what decentralization is. It's about, well, I won't go into a definition of it, but having charities on your nodes is, they're not going to attack. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Especially not if they're getting a monthly passive income instead of charitable donations coming in. So it has value in terms of that decentralization conundrum. If you stake on that node, you might put 100,000 in, however much you feel, that'll sit there. But we'll market for you. In fact, we'll give you Remys to give to your persons with dementia, families who can't pay their energy bills, because we can do so. We might give you some of those that we're not going to burn. But you can then help them by giving them these tokens.
Right.
And we'll give you a marketing methodology. So we can provide them quite a lot. If they want to pull out, they can pull out. So it's the same old thing. It's back to what the government does. That's what the government does with their dollars. I don't know about you, but you probably got a chunk of money during lockdown. Whether you have to give it back or not is another story. But if you've got 600 million tokens that are valued at, let's say, 10p, you do the math. It's a lot of value that you can disseminate. But instead of disseminating it, and I don't want to sound conspiratorial, but instead of disseminating it to bankers and corporates who perhaps don't do that trickle-down thing as well as they should, if you disseminate it to carers who are working or charities who need support, then there's a surprising amount of margin to play with.
Right. Okay. Now, do you have any charities signed up?
Well, we signed up, no. Lined up, yes. And I can't say who they are because we're under NDA. And I'm the first one to admit everyone's watching to see if we can do this, because we're at phase 1. We launched the wallet. You can get caps by inviting your family. We have built all the smart contracts, the distribution contract, and we're now raising money to build the blockchain that's been designed. We have partnerships in place with likes of, Equidium is the health vertical built by Ethereum, which is Joe Lubin and Heather Flannery. So we have partnerships like that. We have partnerships with many partnerships, and many of which you can see on our website. We're very overloaded with transparent data. There's too much there, to be honest. But it's quite a model that we've built, and we do get "it's too good to be true" quite often thrown at us. Oh, it's too big to be true. You'll never do this. Well, go to the website. Everything's there. Take a look at the media that we're involved in, right? The recent activities that we've been involved in. Take a look at our partners. Take a look at the model. Everything's there, and you'll see that it's robust. It's robust, and all we need to do is to complete this funding round, which literally launched yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps not the best date to launch. We didn't blow the trumpet yesterday, but technically it was open yesterday. And we just need to raise enough to build phase 2, which, as I say, is completing the build of the Remy chain and then launching the token live on Uniswap, Binance, or whichever exchanges we go for. So we've done all the heavy lifting. Let's put it that way.
Right. Okay. And then this is round 1. What's happening in rounds 2 and 3, and when are they likely to happen?
Well, round one, if you mean round one in terms of the
Fundraise.
token sale,
Right.
or I don't know whether you mean in terms of
In
the
terms of the
actual
token
build
sale.
token sale. So, well, we've raised, as you'll see on the website page on ReMeLife.io. If you go to ReMeLife.io and buy tokens, you're going to see information. You're going to see a need to fill in a form to comply with the FCA regulations because we're UK based, and then you are going to see what is on offer right now. And what is offer right now is a token using the SAFT at 50% discount to the price that we will later on launch on Binance.
Right.
You're getting 50% discount, but there's going to be 3 rounds. So the current round that is open now has already raised a chunk of money, from existing investors and so forth. And at what point we will close this first round, to be honest, I don't know at this stage.
Right.
We live in strange times. We've got to see what happens. We've got a slew of VCs very keen, let's put it that way, family offices and VCs, but they're all they're in the headlights of the economic world that we live in right now. People are saying, should we invest in crypto? Is it crazy times? Has it bottomed? It's a very strange time. So the round will stay open at a 50% discount until we decide we need to close it, and then we'll go to round 2, which will be at a 30% discount to the Binance price, and then round 3 will be at a 20% discount. But we think things will happen pretty quickly because I don't mind telling you, we've got one VC who's got 20 million on the table, and they're saying, we like what you're doing, but prove it to us.
Right.
So we're going through a due diligence stage now of showing them a lot of everything that we're doing, obviously, and whether they'll jump, we'll see. We've got a couple of brands that I, again, can't say who they are, but, they're online and they're interested, and they are doing the same thing. But our mission is, of course, we want as much money as we can raise because we're going to build a lot, from DeFi stacks. We have an NFT strategy that I can tell you about as well. We have the charity launch pad that I've mentioned. So we need to be well funded. We can build them all one by one. There's no great pressure on when we release each. But we're an ecosystem. We're looking to provide a breadth of support to a community that's not involved in crypto. I mean, our mission is to bring in those people who don't necessarily even believe in crypto, but who need care support, who need to pay their electricity bills.
Okay.
I keep saying we're a social impact business. So,
now, if people want to get involved, if they want to purchase ReMeLife tokens, how would they do that?
they would take a look at ReMeLife.com, which is literally REME, ReMeLife.com, and they'll see the apps. They'll see what is available for them to use. There's a button up there that says tokens, and that will take them through to the crypto website, which is ReMeLife.io.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, they can rummage around and look at the media page I would recommend, where they'll see what we're doing. We had some fun with the Bored Apes about 3 weeks ago, which was brilliant. A lot of things going on, from our relationships with universities to big companies. It's all there. Lots of interviews of me talking. So they'll get a sense of the vibrancy, the popularity, if you like, of what we're doing through looking at that. But then they can look at the tokenomics. If they go to the token page, and they can literally look at the full range of graphic presentations of the tokenomics. They can download the white paper, which is 104 pages long. It's not a glossy, fun picture of a fun document with images of the metaverse and so forth. It's a business plan, old school, with the serious breakdown of what we are seeking to do. But there is a light paper, which is 8 pages long, which is a simpler read, should we say. But once they've had a good look around, if they feel they want to, depends how they look at it. Some might want to support us because they believe in our mission. Others might want to gain some benefit from participating at a 50% discount to the launch on Binance. But if people want to buy a token, it's there to be bought. You'll find yourself on the page, and then you can purchase using cash through Stripe, or you can purchase by trading your tokens. You can trade your 8 tokens, your ETH, or your BTC for Remis. So yeah, it's all there to be done now.
Great. Okay. And I'll have, like I said before, I'll have all the links in the description below. Is there anything else you want to let us know, Simon, before we finish up? Anything we haven't covered?
I think one of the keys to this is the social impact side. I mean, I got involved in this because, literally I watched my mother not get the care she needed. I watched my brother have a tough time. So, we're talking crypto, but the underlying element to this is we really want to be able to have crypto come to those who need to gain the value of their data, because of course the other thing we're doing is we're capturing and monetizing the data that we capture. We capture a mountain of data through engaging with people. We don't sell it. We convert it to tokens. If you want to sell it, we'll sell it, and then we'll turn it to tokens and give it back to you. So, we're a money-making machine for those who really should have the money. So, there's a lot to be gained from purchasing Remy's, not just the potential of, profit, assuming the project goes well, but also the potential to support charities and support those who need to be supported. So yes, we are looking for a breadth of types of persons to engage with us.
Great. Okay. All right. Simon, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to having you back. And I'll be following this project. And I'm interested, well, I've never done much work with elderly. I've done work with people with learning disabilities. And
Yeah.
and regular subscribers to my channel know that I actually work in child protection. And I do that part-time around my channel. So this is close to my heart because it is important. It's supposed to use crypto for social good because it makes a difference to people. If you have any comments or questions, let me know in the description.
Can I interrupt you and ask one favour from everybody?
Please.
And that is, we've just launched a campaign, a petition for the Prime Minister, who you may or may not know, 10 days ago announced that she's in favour of crypto and wants the UK, London, to become a crypto hub, which it already is in terms of blockchain technology, but not in terms of crypto. So we've launched a petition on change.org. And if you go to change.org and search on crypto cares, one word, that's our hashtag. That would be great. Sign up, tell the world.
Okay, and I'll have that that petition linked in the description below so people can go check it out. Simon, thank you so much. So appreciate having you on. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the description below. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. It's CryptoRich and Crypto Simon signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.